This week in East Brunswick, the congregation of the East Brunswick Jewish Center gathered together to celebrate the dedication of the recent renovations to the center. The additions, including the new sanctuary, were hailed by many of the day's speakers as only a beginning and as an investment in the future.
To our dedication day, and remind each and every one of us about the importance of this day, and again to re-emphasize what's been said over and over again this weekend, that this is not the end, it is just the beginning. And I feel that, if I can paraphrase Robert Frost, I think he said it eloquently in his poem, "The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but we have many promises to keep, and miles to go before we sleep, and miles to go before we sleep."
Greetings and good wishes were extended by Mayor William F. Fox.
Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be here and to be a small part of witnessing the growth of East Brunswick Jewish Center, both physically and in numbers. You know, one of the great sources of pleasure to me in being here is to know that members of East Brunswick Jewish Center have contributed so much to our community over the years. You've had so many members involved in various aspects of municipal government, often in a very low-profile way, that I suspect that East Brunswick would be a very different place were it not for that involvement. And those same energies which go into the community go into the congregation. And I know that at a dedication like this, we're not really recognizing concrete block and mortar and ceiling tiles and lights and cable and concrete. But what we're really recognizing and paying tribute to is the energy and the creativity of the people who serve as a committee and in so many ways to see a project like this through from its inception to completion. And so, not only do I congratulate the congregation, but I especially congratulate the committee that has worked and those who have supported this project in the development of the East Brunswick Jewish Center. Thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce another good friend, Rabbi Yaakov Hilsenrath, the rabbi of the Highland Park Conservative Center. Who will believe me that I have a sunburn as a result of sitting at a synagogue dedication ceremony? You're going to have to attest to that to my congregation. They don't think I went out fishing today. I must say that you have found an effective method to keeping speeches short. You stay up here too long, you have a sunstroke. So don't worry. I'm coming here this afternoon to say Mazal Tov to you. As your neighbor, I have always looked forward to the East Brunswick Jewish Center being an outstanding, dynamic, and creative synagogue center, complementing our own in the furtherance of Judaism, Torah, the performance of mitzvot, and the love of Israel, and the love of man.
Last Thursday night at the high school, representatives from colleges met with students and their parents to better inform them of the variety of career and college course options available. Literature and course information packages were distributed, and the representatives answered questions. Later in the week, an armed services display was held at the Brunswick Square Mall. Included in the display were various trucks, a tank, and an Air Force A-10 attack jet.
I'm here with Bill Kraemer, who was honored with a testimonial dinner last Sunday, attended by over 130 residents. Bill, how did that feel?
Well, I'm certainly glad you're asking me today and not Sunday, because I am a little bit more relaxed. It was quite overwhelming. I tell you, I couldn't believe it that so many people would come on a beautiful Sunday afternoon to this affair. And of course, what they gave me by being there was more than any ordinary person should expect.
Bill, I'd like to just read this here. And this was presented by the East Brunswick Historical Society to Bill. To Bill Kraemer, in honor and recognition of your continued dedicated efforts in historical research, civic education, and commitment to our youth, your friends and family here today have established the William Kraemer Scholarship Award to be presented to the outstanding history student in the East Brunswick High School senior class each year. An endowment account has been established and will be administered by the East Brunswick Historical Society to guarantee continuality. Your name will be honored through this means for many years to come as the youth of our community benefit from the scholarship. With love and respect, all of us here today. And this was given at your testimonial dinner. How does this make you feel?
I cannot think of anything that I love any better than that. My heart has always been in the schools, and I appreciate this so much. And of course, I will be in high school this month of June for a couple of days too. And I've been going there, of course, regular.
This also seems to be a means of continuing your work, right? Your lifelong love, the history of the Old Bridge, East Brunswick area, right?
Well, I don't like to think that I've had a good life. I like to believe I am having a good life, so I hope I can continue with God willing.
Thank you, Bill. And before we go, we'd like to just take a look at this. And Bill, give us a little background.
Of course, my friend Al Simon's been my friend for quite a few years, and I never knew that he had this talent. But of course, everything you see on here, Mr. Simon did. Now, these are photographs that my children went through my albums and boxes, and they dug out over a period of years. And one of them, it was when I was 3 years old. And of course, here I am, I was about 13. Here's graduation from the 8th grade when I was 16. And that was a studio photo, and my collar was crooked, and he even made it crooked here. Of course, when I married my beautiful wife on a honeymoon picture. And of course, when I was 16 in my canoe. And here I am, of course, my first automobile, a light 6 Studebaker that I purchased from Willis Street. And of course, I'm on a motorcycle in later years. And here's when we were in Hawaii, when we got off the plane, and that Hawaiian girl, of course, they take your picture as you see it here. I just was floored, and when I saw this, and of course, I appreciate all the signatures of all the people that were at this dinner that are right on this poster.
So everyone that was at the dinner signed this poster for you.
I
So
would say most of them. I couldn't say everyone, but it was there, and I hope they all signed it, yeah.
this seems like a real tribute to an outstanding citizen of Old Bridge. Thank you, Bill.
Well, I will certainly treasure, and of course the memory of that Sunday afternoon will be with me for a long, long time.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you very much.
Also this week, Bicentennial Park was the scene for the annual Senior Citizens Olympics.
Let's give them a big... We're going to start the day's activities with our Olympic parade, which we have every year, and that will be followed by the explanation of the day's events by the Supervisor of the Recreation Department, Karen Burke. So when the parade is over, please pay close attention so you'll know what to do. And remember, we have a special prize for everyone who participates in every event, no matter what your score is. So please try to take part in everything. I'm sure you'll enjoy it.
Good morning, everybody. I see a lot of faces that we saw on Monday's warm-up, and I'm really glad to see a few more today. The one thing that I'd like you all to consider is to make sure that you try everything, okay? We begin over here with Activity 1.
Hello and welcome once again to our Consumer News. I'm Mary Tenaccio and I'm here today to give you some helpful hints and let you in on some new things that might be happening to the consumers and for the consumers. Many of us try to fight inflation in different ways. And what you will be seeing in the very near future, and in some areas it is available now, and it is called discounts for cash. In other words, a businessman is going to give you a discount if you pay in cash or by money order or by check. What happens to a businessman when he allows credit in his shop or his place of business? He pays for that credit. and it's just like any other overhead expense. It is passed on to the consumer. This is very legal. He can do this, but there are some things that you are, as consumers, must be aware of. If someone is offering discounts for cash, the prices on the item or near the items for sale must be the regular price, the highest price that he wants to charge, or the price he would charge if you were buying on credit. If he chooses to give a discount, this discount must be given at the register or the time of payment only. In other words, the higher price must be posted and the discount price or the lower price can be given at the time of payment. It cannot be in reverse. The lower price cannot be posted and charge someone a higher price when they get to the register. That is considered a surcharge, and that is illegal. So if you choose to shop in places where you can receive discounts for cash, or you want to shop with credit, just make sure that when you are shopping, that you are getting what you are entitled to. That the lower prices are given at the register and the higher prices are posted. If for any reason you see it misused, please notify our office as soon as possible, and we will get out and correct any situations that exist. If anyone has any questions concerning any areas that you would be interested in, this is the springtime. People are contemplating having pools or home improvements done or driveways repaired. We ask and we urge you to please call the consumer office for some guidance. We would be more than happy to help you. We are there 5 days a week from 9 to 1. Thanks once again, and look forward to seeing you again next week.
At this week's council meeting, the main topics of discussion were East Brunswick's water use restriction policy and the Middlesex County Fairgrounds' request to demolish a farmhouse on their grounds.
Pointed to the Water Policy Commission. There was a discussion at our last meeting about the current restrictions on watering, which restrict the watering, and you are not permitted to water during the period between 11 and 6. There was a discussion to take a look at our water policy to see if in fact those restrictions were necessary, if they should be lifted or if they should be modified. And so, Mr. Devansh, do you want to sort of
Yes.
go over what the discussion entailed?
Okay. East Brunswick is a very residential community. People in this town like green lawns. Green lawns take a lot of water, and people have a habit of watering their lawns quite a bit. So we have had a problem with water usage all coming at the same time, thus resulting in a pressure drop. We took a look at the charts. Michael Valesky prepared for us some charts showing the elevations of the storage tanks. I understand we have them with us tonight if the council wanted to review them. To look at the year 1980, which was the year prior to the drought, when the drought restrictions went on last year, but after we had installed our new 1.5 gallon elevated storage tank. The purpose of looking at the tanks was to find out just how much of a surge the system would handle if everyone were to open their faucets up and water the lawn simultaneously. And after analyzing the data and looking at the charts, we came to the conclusion that if everyone does use the water at the exact same time, we will have a pressure problem. Not a supply problem, but a pressure problem. We felt that there should be a restriction on water to prevent everyone from using water simultaneously, but at the same token, we wanted to allow people to use the water that they needed to water their lawns, wash their cars, and other shrubs, and things like this. So we kicked around many different ideas and proposals, and the one that the committee felt was the fairest and the best was to go to an odd-even system. If your house number is odd number and it's an odd number calendar day, you would be permitted to use water outside as much as you saw fit to use to water your shrubs and wash your car. If your house is an even number, likewise on even calendar days, you would use water on even days. The theory behind this is simply that with this in practice, only half the residents in town could use water at any given time for outdoor use.
Later in the meeting, during the discussion on the old Whitehead Farmhouse at the Fairgrounds, the council decided to shelve any decision on this historic building issue. Jerry O'Connor and Jerry Weber expressed their feelings.
I'd like to see more dialogue take place between the Historic District Commission and the Lions Club, Middlesex County Fair Association. I'm not satisfied that enough has taken place or any has taken place. And even though we have an ordinance to look at, there's still some feelings that we have to get, some good vibrations that the dialogue has taken place, and we'll make a better judgment on it.
And I would agree with Mr. O'Connor that at the very least that we request them to get together in one room and see what they can work out that would be mutually agreeable to both of them. I noticed that in their objections, in the letter that Mr. Ieri sent to us that is included in the packet, they're talking about the length of the lease being too long. I'm sure that's something that could be worked out. The plan required 40 parking places and takes away more prime space than the dwelling does presently. I don't think that there is anything fixed in concrete. In regard to the plan, the fair does raise some legitimate questions that I think have to be answered, but I am concerned that the two groups really haven't talked together on this. And it would be my suggestion that we ask them to meet within the next month. Our next agenda session would be on the 14th of June, and at that time we put it back on the agenda to consider